Thanks, Ceann Corla. Just a remark on this place. It feels much smaller than it actually looks on the telly, I have to say. Maybe it's because there's loads of people in the seats, but it does feel a good deal smaller than the image that's portrayed. But I have to say I feel quite tall in being here, first of all, representing the people that elected us, but secondly, in nominating Richard Boyd Barrett. And I just want to say a few words, and only a few words, about Richard, and that is that this is a man of principle who has led many struggles of ordinary people against austerity, against tax injustice, against the water charges, and indeed what he marked out himself on was in fighting on the question of the environment, on the harbour in Dunleary and saving our forests. So I think Richard would make a fine Taoiseach. But having said that, we know Richard's not going to get elected. Indeed, according to the good man over there in Kenny, nobody will get elected today. So we're in a bit of a theatre. And really, in this theatre, the radical left has as much a right to be players on the stage as anybody else. I would argue, in fact, that there are at least 90 TDs in this House who were elected by the people to abolish the water charges, to deal with the punitive action of making people pay water charges, and over 50% of the population have said, we're not doing it, end of. So I think that's really kind of set the stage, and that stage is set on the back of people power. And I want to talk about that a bit, because the radical left, particularly represented by Richard Boyd Barrett, is quite different in the sense that we're here as the voice of people, we're here to represent people, we intend to do a very strong and a very good job. But what really matters is what happens out there in society, because people are constantly being treated as economic units. You know, the sort of measures that previous governments have engaged in this country is to see the economy as this is what we need to do to get jobs and all the rest of it. But genuinely, we have to start putting people before the interests of a tiny elite who gain from the profits in this country. People are not economic units, they're real human beings with real needs on housing, health, education, and all of the issues that were mentioned by previous colleagues. So I think that that's the way we need to go, is to combine the people power with the voice in here and deliver a society that put those interests first. As I say, Richard is being nominated not because of the individual, but because of the issues that the radical left have to bring to the table. In the spirit of the proclamation, we want to see real equality for young people, for women. We want to see a referendum this year, in the anniversary of the Rising, on the repeal the 8th. And these issues are a big challenge to the future government, which I assume will be formed sometime in the future. But it's about how people see this government being shaped. There is clearly a major crisis in the political terms in this country. But as far as we're concerned, the voice of people power is brought into this chamber and will be well represented by all of us here on the radical left and beyond, in all of the left, and in particular, I think, by Deputy Boyd Barrett. So I formally nominate, or second his nomination.
Thank you very much, Deputy Smith.